Avengers is the highest grossing film in history, and it's no wonder. They have been building up their brand for more than a decade. As great as this movie was, well paced and balanced, it still felt a bit crowded. There were really 4 different groups running around and doing different things at different times for different reasons. But what can be done about this? That is just the way movies are. But does it have to be? I am D.L. Morris, and today the Polyverse talks about the polyfilm. But before we begin, you can subscribe and ring the bell to be notified for more great content. While superhero movies are great, the heroes will always have super egos, just like the stars that portray them. This alone can fill to past capacity a movie's ability to hold. After all, a movie can only be so long, and there is a certain pace we expect, and there's only so much that can be put in order to make sure that the audience is still engaged. Problem is, there's only so much time. And yet, the Infinity War and some other movies had so much content that one movie wasn't near enough to show what was going on. Granted, they did intend to do 2 parts, but they changed Infinity War Part 2 to something unannounced as of yet, and no one really knows an answer to how to make the story into a much bigger and grander thing. Nobody except. The answer to all the problems that these types of movies present is the polyfilm, or the same story from multiple angles, or in this case, the different locations that the different threads go through to make the story itself, or in this case, the location. And each film can have different crossover scenes that show these scenes from the different points of view of the different groups that they are following. And it can be woven into a much grander tapestry that can gross far more than a single film would ever be able to. In the case of Infinity War, you would have the film that follows Thor, Groot, and the Rabbit, the film that follows the rest of the Guardians, the film that follow Iron Man, Iron Spider, and Mr. Doctor, and the film that follows the adventures through Wakanda. These 4 separate films, released at the same time, again to maximize profits, could share some scenes like Thor talking to the Guardians and the Iron Trio plus Banner before he splits off to join the battle for Wakanda. Such a collection of films, all happening and being filmed at the same time with the same stars, with potentially different directors and writers' collaborations showing different angles, would be a much better presentation of the graphic novels that these movies are based on. And again, we could have a much grander story because we are not forced down a single path that has to bisect multiple different scenarios. It would be a bit of a bother, no doubt, especially the first time this is attempted. But in the end, I think it would be worth it. And if anyone can do it, the marvelous peeps of the MCU are more than capable. Thank you for watching. If you liked, you can comment, subscribe, and check out our archives. Have a great day.